12 new clients. Let me say that again. We have signed 12 new clients in my social media marketing agency in the past 30 days. But Jordan, I don't need 12 clients. I just need my first few. Don't worry, I've got you. Today we are going to cover everything you need to think about to sign your first or your next SMMA client, and we're even going to be going through some strategies that'll help you automate your client acquisition process. Strategies that I'm using in my 7-figure marketing agency, the Affluent Agency. Now there are two very important things that you need to think about before signing your first or your next client. And the first is this client in a niche that I know about or am interested in? And number two, is this potential client actually qualified? Are they an ideal customer for a digital marketing agency? You want to make sure your niche is an industry that you actually enjoy working with or you have some kind of interest in. So we want to pick something we have a personal passion for in our private life. Have a look into yourself and figure out who would I enjoy working with in theory, and then pick maybe 3 niches, 1 to 3 niches that you can start with, and you can go out in your local area and actually reach out to and start building a list of those companies. Now I say 1 to 3, that's the ideal situation, but to be honest, when I first started my agency, I really went for absolutely everyone. It was a complete free-for-all, but we want to try and niche down as quickly as we can. Now, if you want to learn about the best SMMA niches right now, I recently created a video on the channel, so there'll be a link in the description. You can go watch that after this one. But to summarize, you want to start off local and try and find niches or industries that you have a personal interest in within your personal life, because the chances are you're probably going to enjoy working with them more. But the key is that they either have a high ticket service or they're a business that gets repeat custom. For example, a furniture store has high ticket products or expensive products, and a gym gets a lot of repeat custom because of the monthly memberships. Now, this is important because these kind of companies generally have high profit margins based on their client, and therefore it's easier for us as their marketer to get them results. Okay, so it's a straighter path to quicker profits with these kind of clients. Now, once we've actually picked our niche, and again, go ahead and watch the video that we put out recently on the channel, then we need to make sure this customer is actually qualified, okay? How do we know if they're actually qualified? Well, Google is our friend, as is their website. We want to do some digging and hunting on this business. We want to establish that they are an established business with existing customers, and they've got some good comments on their social media or some reviews online, so we know that product or service actually has proof of concept. Now, proof of concept is simply proof that the product or service is viable and people actually want it. And what that does for us as marketers is means that they've got a giant green tick, and it's going to be a good indicator that their ads are going to perform well because they've tried and tested that business beforehand. So all we simply need to do is scale up something that is already working. Now, once we've done this, we also need to establish that there's actually room for our service. For example, if we're a web agency, but this business already has an exceptional website, it's really well designed, then there's probably no need for our service. There's no point reaching out to them. They're probably unqualified because already got a really great website. Equally, if we're an ads agency like we are at the Affluent Agency, and I stumble across an e-commerce store and I can see that they've got tens and tens of ads running, they've been running for months and months on end, then I can be pretty sure that those ads are performing well. So I might be inclined not to actually reach out to that business. On the flip side, if I look at their ads and they're poorly designed, the copy is bad, the creative is bad, I'm still going to reach out to them. And by the way, quick tip for you guys, if you are an ad agency or an aspiring ad agency on Facebook, if you scroll down on any Facebook page, click Ad Transparency, you'll be able to see if a business is or isn't running ads already. So this is a great indicator of whether they are or aren't qualified. When you're first starting your agency, I would recommend only reaching out to businesses that are not running ads at the moment, because if they are running ads, even if they're not very good, it's a bit of an indicator as to whether or not they are tech savvy, and therefore they're probably going to quiz you on some questions you might not be able to answer when you're first starting. So try and go for local businesses that are not advertising online already if you are looking to launch an ads agency. Okay, so that covers the basics of qualification, but if you want to learn more about the ideal customer for an agency owner when you're first starting out, then make sure you smash the subscribe button for me, turn on your notification bell, because I talk very often in videos about what customers you should look out for when you're first starting an agency. But let's say right now you're getting an idea. You've got some businesses in your head that you know are in the local area. You're thinking they might be an ideal customer for my agency. The first step before we move on to sales is actually building a list, is going through what's called lead generation. And this is simply the process of us sitting behind our computer, spending a lot of time, and this is a time-consuming task, going through Google, going through Facebook, going through LinkedIn, and searching for all the companies under this criteria in our local area. What you're then going to do is use a tool like Google Sheets or Numbers on Mac or Excel on Microsoft, any spreadsheet-based tool, and you're going to build a list of all of the ideal customers, your lead list. And this is going to act as your hit list when you are reaching out and you are actually selling to these potential customers, trying to get a meeting with them so you can pitch your service. Build up a list of at least 50 companies before you actually start reaching out to them. Pretty simple, right? Cool. Let's jump into sales. So there are two types of sales systems that we use as agency owners when signing up new clients. The first is outbound sales and the second is inbound sales. We'll start off with outbound sales, which is pretty self-explanatory. It is us going out to get new sales for our business, okay? We are putting ourselves in front of business owners and presenting them with a service that we deem fit to help them grow their business in some way. Now, not all agency owners are helping businesses to increase their revenue. Some agency owners are helping businesses just to increase their online presence, which actually ultimately boils down to increasing their revenue and building their business. But there are different goals for different services. But regardless, all agencies need to conduct outbound sales in some way. Now, this is also called outreach. You may have heard that term before, sales outreach. And there are a number of different methods and platforms we can use to outreach to our lead list after we have built it. We've got emails, we've got DMs or direct messages on platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. We've got cold calling and even face-to-face. Now, the key for any successful agency owner or anyone in any service-based business is that they follow a multi-platform strategy. Okay, you want to adopt as many of these different outreach strategies as you possibly can when you are first starting out. Now, once you get established, you might find one of these strategies works better for you than any of the others, but I would recommend sticking to a multi-platform strategy for as long as possible until you master something, until you have a system that truly clicks. And the way to explain this is, if you're going to reach out to 5 of your friends, you needed to urgently reach 5 of your best friends. Would you reach out to all of them people in the exact same way? Probably not. You might WhatsApp one person, Instagram DM the other, cold call another. You might email someone, but it's unlikely, or send a text to the other one, because you know that your friends react to different platforms in different ways. They all have their preferred form of contact, and it's exactly the same for business owners or our potential clients. Why would we presume that somebody else is going to respond to, let's say, email, 5 people are going to respond to email in the exact same way? 3 out of 5 of those people might not even read their emails. They might go straight into spam. So we have to adapt a multi-platform strategy when we're first starting out. And I talk more about that in a video that I've already got on this channel, which is our top outreach strategies. So go ahead and click the link in the description and watch that after this one if you want to learn more about those in-depth outreach strategies and my tips for each of them individually. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, right? If you've never worked in sales before, and I was fortunate to have worked in sales-based roles before I started my agency, this can be very, very intimidating. Sales is an industry which intimidates a lot of people because it's not easy, okay? And I know how you feel, because when I first started my first ever sales job, it was actually in a cold calling center, and I was meant to make 100 cold calls every single day. Before that, I've never done any type of selling before, and I was terrified. I literally remember on my first day going to the end of the office, holding my script and hiding away from everybody. I had this headset on and I was just like shaking, reading off my script like a robot. And for weeks, I was useless. But because I was in so much debt at that time, because I had a goal that I was working towards, because I knew that the only way of me getting out of that situation was to sell on that phone, I improved day after day, and being forced to make hundreds and hundreds of calls, I got better and better and better. And within the first 3 months of joining that company, believe it or not, I was in the top 3 performers in their business from sales worldwide. Okay? And I did that because I forced myself in an uncomfortable environment. So if you feel uncomfortable right now at the thought of doing outbound sales, at the thought of doing outreach, good. This is a position that's going to help you grow. This is a situation that is going to help you become a better salesperson, a better agency owner, a better business owner, and a more successful person. You want to always aim to put yourself in these uncomfortable positions. And trust me, I have gone through what you are going through right now. I have felt those anxieties and I do not feel them anymore. So trust the process, use a multi-platform strategy. And just remember that sales is a numbers game. It's something that's going to take a lot of repetition. It's something that might drive us crazy at times. It might bring us to the brink of giving up on our agency entirely. But if we stick to it, okay, and we trust the process, we will get better and we will improve. We'll become an exceptional salesperson. But we have to have, every single agency, even to this day, we have a very solid outbound sales strategy. It's important. So the second thing we have is inbound sales. Okay, this is the holy grail. Everybody wants inbound sales for their agency. And again, self-explanatory, this is sales coming into us. These are people reaching out to us based on how they've seen us online. Maybe they've seen our website. Maybe they've seen content that we're putting out. You might want to build a personal brand. And I don't mean you need to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube like on this channel, right? You can have a micro personal brand. You could create an Instagram page or a Facebook group where you're putting out content to people in your local area, to your ideal customer, and you're helping them with their marketing. You're providing tips and therefore you are becoming an expert. This is another thing, another mental barrier that a lot of people have is they think when they start a business, they can't start a personal brand right away. Whereas the only difference between someone who you perceive to be an expert and yourself is perception. That person could literally be 1 or 2 steps further ahead of you. You don't even know that, but you perceive them to be an expert because they seem more knowledgeable than you are. So even when you're first starting an agency and you're learning stuff from content, like on this YouTube channel, right? You're learning from stuff that I put out online. If you regurgitate that information, then whoever looks at that information is going to believe that you're an expert because you genuinely do know more than they know about a topic. So don't be scared to start a personal brand. Don't be scared to start putting out information and educating people in your ideal niche. Your website is another great place you can gain leverage. If you can put out a good website, you can get it out in the local area, you can get it ranked somehow through SEO, through blog articles, you can get a lot of inbound traffic. And those are the 2 key ways. Another way you can do this is through networking events. If you go to networking events and you get free speaking gigs, you offer free value at those events. I deem that a really good use of time when you're first starting out. Just getting your name out in the local area is really important and you will get people speaking to you. And when you actually speak to other business owners and you have the chance to speak to them face to face, they're going to say to you, Jordan, do you know what? Actually, I know someone who would really be able to do with your service. I have a friend who owns XYZ business and they would really benefit from Facebook ads. They'll make an introduction and that is still considered inbound sales. So inbound sales systems are not something that only established agencies can benefit from. They're not only something that agencies who are making 6 figures on a monthly basis can gain from, right? New start agencies still have the ability to benefit from inbound sales, and all you need to do is implement systems into your business as soon as you can. One thing I would recommend everyone doing, once you get your first case study, once you get a client that has had good results, that might even be your first ever client, then create an online case study. Create a simple video where you run through the results that you have actually got for that business. Create a landing page and have an application form on there. You could start running ads to that application form right away if you have capital to reinvest in your agency, or at the very least, when your cold traffic visits your website, you're going to increase your conversion rate because you have testimonials and the ability for people to apply to work with your business and you're prompting them to do so. Obviously, if you're more established and you have lots of case studies, you should create a more in-depth webinar and you can run ads to that and you can scale your agency up exponentially that way. Now, if you'd like to access the back end of our personal case study funnel at the Affluent Agency, we literally give that away in the Affluent Academy. Again, that's our agency training program. There's a link in the description. So if you want full case study based training, check that out after this video. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for today. If you want to continue learning right now, I would recommend going ahead and watching our SMMA niches video. There'll be links in the description for this, and also our SMMA outreach video where you will learn more about how you can get sales for your new agency or for your existing agency, how you can improve on the systems that you already have. If you haven't done already, make sure you drop a comment down below this video so you can enter our 24-hour competition, which is ongoing on every new video we put out, where one person out of all the comments in the first 24 hours of every new upload will win the chance to get a completely free hour-long coaching call with me, where I'm going to personally help you build a roadmap to your first or next $10,000 online. If you are unsuccessful, you don't win this time round, then make sure you turn your notification bell on so you can comment within 24 hours of every new upload, because it's just going to be an ongoing competition on this channel for the foreseeable future. Cool. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you all soon. Cheers, guys.